the pre-Chiro gift, I think, is for them to really focus in after hearing your message, really focus in and say, okay, I want to learn this stuff. I have time on my hands. Like, if I can either be given a stipend to study this, or if I can get a job where my job is literally to study this stuff and spend time with it, there's a lot more incentive there. So I think we really do need to provide incentives. And then students aren't going to need an incentive anymore, probably 5-10 minutes or 5 or 10 hours into it. But I just wanted to touch on that, because I think that there's a gap between a high school student graduating and hearing where you're coming from, and just being given that nudge, but also being told, hey, it's not that complicated. Just spend some time with it. It's going to start to make sense. Like you said, your left brain. People need that logical, rational approach. And it sounds like that's everything, that what you're offering is everything. So.
No, I think it's a really good point. And that was probably my pet peeve with chiropractic school, was how much they made us focus on things that I would never use. So I understand that learning is important, and a broad learning stroke is really important, and it's great to have that. And I'm not saying to dumb down the education. That's totally not my bag at all. But to make space for people to basically learn the art, learn what you're doing, learn the philosophy, the art, the science behind chiropractic. Yeah, I know it's great when you put up one of those things, chiropractic education, medical education. We have 4,700 hours, they have 42, and we do pharmacology. It's like, yeah, it looks great, but you don't practice that way, So I think you're right. I think that beforehand, it's no different than anything else in life. The better you are prepared for whatever you step into, the easier it's going to be. It's just as simple. It's like whether it's taking a test, whatever it is, the more preparation you have, the easier it is to do it. It's just as simple as that.
When you pay attention to how the adjustment settles in your own body, look for the openness instead of looking for the resolution of symptoms. Because when you start to find that openness, it's a little more open every time you get adjusted, that's really the thing that you're providing for other people. And once you've figured out what that is that what you want to do for the rest of your life? One thing that chiropractors, I think, don't understand is that chiropractic is very simple. It's too simple for a lot of people. It's not exciting enough for a lot of people. Because all I do all day long is provide a little bit more openness to a bunch of people every day.
What's your why? What do you see yourself doing in 30 years? As far as how strong is your relationship going to be with the reasoning of everything? How strong is your health going to be in 30 years? How strong is your family relationship going to be in 30 years? And how strong is your career? How passionate are you going to be about your career in 30 years? Are you going to be in the same career?
It is easy to fall into the trap of video games or partying or whatever's happening. But when you have a strong enough vision and you're tenacious about getting it done, then nothing can stop you. I mean, and look here at Ben, for example. I want to also recognize your work with podcasts like this, with sharing this information, because what it does, hopefully, is it helps to cut down the learning curve for a lot of people. And hopefully people will honestly take your guests and their experiences to heart and not repeat the same mistakes. I think that's, the biggest value.
Pre-Chiro as a company is 3 things. One, we're trying to develop a 6-module program, which starts from the foundations and then builds into what's called the inner state, or what I'm calling the inner state. And state is an acronym for the inner scientist, thinker, artist, teacher, and entrepreneur. And then it builds to the pre-Chiro apprentice, and then the pre-Chiro startup, where I'm really encouraging students to start some sort of entrepreneurial venture, whether that be a pre-Chiro club on their college campus or high school campus or in their community, or just get involved in something. And then there's the capstone, the independent study, as the 5th module. And then the 6th module is just assisting them in transitioning, maybe cities, maybe they're moving to go to a chiropractic school, and that whole admissions process. A lot of the times, pre-med, pre-physical therapy just focus on the short-term gains, and we really want to focus on that long-term. The inner state is really an exploration wide and deep of things like SOT and different techniques of different areas of study in the science, philosophy, art, but also business and communication. So I just wanted to touch on that. And then the second part of the company, so to speak, is connecting them with mentors. So I believe that if we did have an infusion of a couple $1 million into a project like this, that we could hire chiropractic students to improve their communication skills, but also support pre-chiro students along the way and show that we truly care as a profession and that it is a good experience to go through school or to lead up to school, so that you arrive ready, prepared, and understanding of what the program's about. And then the third part is this ecosystem that I'm trying to organize and create, so that a prospective student, a current student, can see who the different people in the SOT world are and what their offerings are. And also other places, just getting people familiar with, say, the IFCO. And right now, membership, people that work in political organizations are volunteers. They're not even getting paid. So that's totally different from other professions that are dumping millions of dollars into their infrastructure. I just want to touch on that because I believe the profession will be a better thing, a better vehicle for transformation on this planet if we had those three pieces, which I believe are like subluxations, so to speak, disconnects that the profession has with the general public.